Hi, welcome to the episode of Hallmark Heartbeats, a podcast all about Hallmark movies. And I'm your host, Camille. Today I am joined by friend and fellow Hallmark Keith fan and podcaster, Dara from Dear Hallmark podcast. And she was here a couple of weeks ago during the fall preview. But she's back because we are going to do a book versus movie discussion on South Beach Love. She's the only other person that I know who was crazy.
How are you, Camille? Thank you for having me on again.
Thank you for coming back. We had like a lot of fun the last time, and I am hoping to get under 2 hours. That's the goal.
We gotta rein it in. I don't even know if my battery can handle it, in all honesty. So it might just cut us off, even if we go to 2 hours.
But yeah, we are hoping that the last time we talked, it was 2 hours, but there was an excuse. It was 12. It was 12 movies. So
we should talk about one this time.
Yeah, it was understandable. Okay, so this time we're gonna talk about it. All right, so let's start. South Beach Love just aired this past Saturday, and it starred Taylor Cole and William Levy. Taylor Cole is a Hallmark darling. She's been in so many Hallmark movies. I can't even count anymore what movies she's in. If you need to know, just IMDb her. William Levy is a star in the Latin world, in the Hispanic world. He's done a lot of telenovelas and stuff, and people know him also from Dancing with the Stars. I think he was just a finalist. But he
did a couple of movies too that I've seen, so I knew of him before this movie as well.
Yeah, and then the book is also with the same name, and there it is right there, South Beach Love. It is written by Caridad Pinheiro. So the book came out before the movie. So what made you want to read the book first?
I guess because that's a really good question. I wanted to see what I was getting myself into. I think, to put it in a few words, I wanted to know what I was getting myself into with William Levy being in the movie. I was like, I was like, oh, I'm getting this book. And then I wanted to see how close to the book the movie was going to be.
Spoiler alert, it did not get close.
Oh, man. Man, I'm like, at that point, just change the name and say it's loosely, or say it's inspired by, or something like that.
I know, but even the characters' names were not even the same.
That's what, like, they changed characters, but yeah,
they changed the plot line, everything. I mean, like the only thing really common was Tony, Sarah, and quinceaneras.
And they still were both chefs, which is in the book.
Yeah, but the feel, the vibe, the plot line, the backstory, everything was just different.
Very.
Like that. And also shout out to Caridad Pinheiro, because she said that she will be 100% listening to this podcast. So I hope we do your book well as. We hope to do your book well.
Yes.
I hope she's not disappointed in the movie.
Oh man, I wonder if she saw like the final before it aired.
She did.
Oh, so she watched the final as
live. I just talked to her a couple of days before the movie aired, and she told me nope, she never saw it live. And she had the producers had called her when they were making the movie, and they were like, what parts of the book do you think we're supposed to put it? And whatever, so you would want carried on to the movie. And she was like, the feel of family and the families working together and the girls growing from like being a girl, you'll be a child to adulthood. And I honestly feel that part was also missed in the movie. The whole like transition from girl, like, I mean, woo! I mean, I get it. In movies, it's a visual thing. So you can't really take time to explain what a quinceañera means. Like you can't really have a character talking for 5 minutes what the traditions of a quinceañera is or whatever. So you it's all visual kind of thing. But they could have at least given some kind of historical reasoning for it.
And I picked up on it.
Quinceañeras are.
I remember in Hallmark Channel's one of their posts promoting the movie, someone asked and I responded. I said, because they were like, what is a quinceañera? And I responded, and someone who's in the Hispanic Latin community was like, yes, thank you. You know, I was under my Dear Hallmark name. They were like, thank you, Dear Hallmark. Like, that's exactly it. But I caught little glimpses of like the shoe exchange when they were going from sneakers to heels and giving their doll. I think they should have explained that giving the dolls though thing, because I feel like that was such a pivotal moment. It's like you're giving your favorite childhood doll to like an important little girl in your life, whether it's like your cousin, your niece, your sister, whatever. And I thought that, I thought that was a missed opportunity too.
Yeah, even the shoes thing, it's like, you know, they're like, oh, this is, if you didn't know the history of quinceañeras, you would have thought, oh, this is like some kind of Cinderella moment.
Right.
The cultural representation that was going on with the shoes exchange. And then the other thing is, in the book, which is what they missed in the movie, is that these girls were soccer players. That's why they were rivals, because they were rivals for like team captain or whatever, which mind you, 15 years old, how are you a team captain of a soccer team already? But anyway, that's another story. But I mean, that's the root of their rivalry.
Like they competed in everything in school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they missed all of that. And like the whole shoes exchange thing in the book was even more special because they had cleats. So they were like trying to put their own personality into this. You know what I mean?
I do. And yeah, I just thought I just thought it was a missed opportunity. Like the book, there's so much depth, there's so much culture behind that moment. Like even if maybe they missed everybody's name and they changed like Tony and Sarah's backstory, but I think like focusing on that, like doing right by the quinceañera tradition and giving that its moment, I think the movie deserved that, and it didn't have that.
100% agree with you. 100%, because what was the point of having a quinceañera if you're not going to tell us what a quinceañera is?
Like that's what the whole movie is based on, is this quinceañera that's happening.
It's going to look like any other birthday party.
Like it's just an elaborate birthday party.
Yes.
And they just happen to be Cuban. And yeah.
I mean, like, so someone said it before. It was like, you know, I don't want to call it, but it's like a token, you know, story for people of culture, people of color. Like, oh, we're just gonna throw in a, you know, Cuban story because it's a Cuban story. But if it's not really celebrating the culture behind it, then is it really? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do completely. That's what I felt like was missing, even with the setting of where it took place. Like you reminded me it took place in Miami, because I forgot. Like I didn't feel like in the book we get the descriptions of the guys hanging outside and they're in the shirt, like the button-down silk shirts and the hats and
the music and the whole like Cuban foods and like
the Cuban toast and the coffee, like
the colors, and it was like the colors they were talking about stucco buildings and all these other, like, if you guys need to read the book. If you are not a fan of the movie, trust me when I tell you, do not let that discourage you from reading the book, because the book is 1,000,000 times better. And that's why I am so pissed off at this movie, because for those who have not read the book, they're gonna look at the movie and go, why the fuck do I want to read the book now? It sucks.
And it's funny because I was listening right before this. Deck the Hallmark published their South Beach Love review, and Dan was thinking that what he saw in the movie was what was happening on the book. And Panda was the only one on the panel who read the book, but he's been so far removed from it, he doesn't remember certain things. So I went into the comment, I was like, actually, this is what was supposed to go down, and this is what, like, because Bran and Dan were asking, like, well, is Cubish really a thing in the book? Because that was weird, like a fusion of Cuban and Irish food, which that plot line came out of nowhere because that's not in the book.
No.
And I feel like it would, if you see the movie before reading the book, it is going to put a bad taste in your mouth, because the movie in no stretch of the imagination does the book justice, by no stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some, I know we've already delved into a lot, especially about quinceaneras, but I think another big sin that they did was change the background story of Sarah and Tony. Mostly because Hallmark has done so many exes getting back together movies. I feel like they should have kept the background storyline, because from the book, which was, she had a childhood crush on him. She was like the tag along little sister with her brother and his best friend or whatever. And, she had a little childhood crush on him, and she was like shy or whatever. And then he comes back from New York looking hot and stuff, and she's like, hi, I wonder if this guy is still looking at me as, the childhood little sister, then, and can see me as an adult. And I think that's a far more interesting storyline.
Completely agree.
Than just exes getting back together.
Completely agree. And I feel like the casting, that would have done casting William Levy and Taylor Cole that much more justice, because I feel like Taylor Cole could play that, even though she had pigtails and that dress and that bike. I don't know what that was, but I feel like that could have played, that could have done like the childlike nature of Taylor growing in, not Taylor, but Sarah being seen as a woman. I felt like Taylor could have played that well. And I felt like William could have played, that Tony, first of all, his name is Sanchez, y'all, not Rodriguez, like in the movie. So playing that like Tony Sanchez, just like walking in all cool with his black leather jacket, like William Levy could totally own that. And I was looking forward, that was the one thing I was looking forward to the most when watching the movie. And I said, Paris, exes, what? I was completely floored and my head was hurting.
I was just mind blown with that change. I knew it was coming, but I just was like, because in the commercials they were saying it's 2 exes or whatever, it's 2 chefs or whatever. But I'm like, this is that is a boring storyline. Hallmark do better. Hallmark seriously do better. I
have a question for you.
What
did you think about them turning Sarah's restaurant into a food truck?
Was it a food truck?
It was a food truck on the movie. She's in a food truck. And they just have picnic tables.
I thought it was just like a little hut thing.
It was a food truck because she ran it like a restaurant.
that just makes me even more pissed. Because like there's nothing wrong with food trucks, y'all.
Nothing.
That's fine to say that I'm a fan of food trucks. I love food trucks. I would go to North Shore and eat my food truck. And hello, one of my favorite movies is You're Making Me Crazy.
You're making me crazy.
So, I love food trucks, okay? This is not a food truck hating podcast.
Not in the least bit.
But no.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just like, and then, I cannot tell you how much this movie angers me, how they changed that, and how they changed her whole restaurant and everything. Because the thing about it is, for those who don't know, her restaurant is sort of like, first of all, the book is it's like a family. And she and her employees are domestic violence shelters. Like they're shelter, they're girls who live in shelters who, like, she hires them to get work,
so they can transition like back into the workforce.
Work skills, job skills.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And they can like get out of the shelter and have better jobs or whatever. So her sister started this, 501c3 foundation to help with the women in shelters and stuff like that. And part of the quinceañera was supposed to go to that 501c3. They fucked all of that up. Because how beautiful of a story is that? A woman giving back to her community, and with her own business and fighting with her heart and saying, look, I am gonna go hire these women who have zero skills, teach them how to run a restaurant, how to cook, how to manage, how to do everything, so that they can have better life.
Absolutely.
And
sorry, go ahead.
That is just
I was gonna say that then with that part, I feel like that would have turned a Hallmark Channel movie into either a Hallmark drama or a Hallmark movies and mysteries movie, because I feel like even what Antonio said yesterday, like they Hallmarked it. So it's like it has to remain lighter in some instances. And I think
here's the thing, even if they did mention, like, go in depth about the 501c3 or whatever, they could have at least dropped names and, okay, she only had one employee in her restaurant. Because she could have had a whole bunch of employees and they were all women or something like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or like just drop that, without, I don't think mentioning that they were in a shelter or anything like that would have taken away the lightheartedness, but that's just me. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just to show that she wasn't just an employee or just a chef, just any other chef, to show that she had heart and she was giving back to her community would have made people endearing to her, or her endearing to people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You mentioned the braids and the dresses. They did that go wrong. But
I don't know who missed the memo, who forgot to check their messages, but somebody, I just don't know.
I get it. It's Miami. And so it's hot. Their business attire may be different or whatever. But she is a businesswoman. You know what I mean?
You can't have the dude looking better than her. I'm sorry. His wardrobe was, as you said, was right and tight. Okay. Like his wardrobe was suited and booted. I don't understand where the boy, and she's probably, if not, is number one on the call sheet. Like, how does her wardrobe pale in comparison to her male lead. I don't under. That's where the miscommunication goes. The misunderstanding. I don't get
They
that.
tried to play Taylor younger, and I'm like,
maybe that's what it was.
she was, she's already, I mean, she's not old. So how much younger did you want her to be? And she's already younger than Will Levy. So how much younger did you need her to be?
And Taylor, like, she has a young face, and she is one of the most she's the one Hallmark actress I've seen where she could change hair with the best of them. So you just put her, like, she doesn't need the pigtails. You literally just color her hair different, and that will either make her younger or older. Because, like, she's in a mystery
makeup, less makeup.
Because that's what they did with the young lady from Love Strikes Twice. To make her younger, they just put her without makeup on, and because she has an inherently young face, as I think Taylor does as well. So I think if they didn't put as much makeup on, she could have passed for like 30 or 27, however old Sarah is.
And it's
in the book.
Yeah.
Like, I do think Taylor and William were perfectly casted for the roles. I just think the execution in terms of, like, it just felt like it was kind of all over the place. Like, it felt disjointed. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. And I'm just like, where is my South Beach love? Where is it?
I know. For me, there are so many scenes in the book that were missing in the movie. I know that it happens all the time with movies based on books. I mean, like, I remember watching Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter movie, and my best friend was like, "Come here, don't do a running commentary on what they did wrong in the movie," because I am one of those people. But one of my favorite part of the book, and did you finally get to this part of the book where they did a taste testing for the menu?
Yes.
I am so mad I missed that. I'm gonna but what happened is, okay, first of all, the girls' themes are different.
Yes.
From the movie and the book. The book it's Samantha and Angelica. Right? So we're gonna go back to Samantha and Angelica. In the book, Samantha and Angelica, like, they go and make up this plan to get Sarah and Tony working together for their quinceanera. Their plan was genius. Right.
They're like,
because Sarah and Tony were at first gonna like separate the courses. Like, he do the first 2 courses, she do the last 2 courses, or whatever. But then the girls were like, "I don't like that. Let's let's get together and make them work together in the kitchen." So what they did is, during their tasting menu, they acted like they didn't like the food at all. And it was so hilarious, because how Carradine wrote it is that the families were like throwing daggers at the girls across the table, like, what is wrong with you?
Right, because everyone's like, "This food is delicious. What in the world?" And then the girls are like, behind the scene, because they're like, somebody's going to get chopped.
You need like something. There's something missing with this or whatever. And it's hilarious because they're saying this as they're eating mouthfuls of them.
Mind you, right. Eating almost finishing the dish. Ugh, I don't like this. I think this texture's off. It's missing a dash of this. Like, oh my God.
Wow, they're gobbling.
Exactly.
So Sarah's like, yeah, for someone who doesn't like these foods, for sure, eating a lot of it.
Yep.
So that's when they realized that, the girl that what they were trying to do with the girls or whatever. But the thing, but uh my favorite part about that part, my favorite thing about that part of the scene that I wish, this is why I wish that they put it in the movie, is that this is where the girls start becoming friends. They go from rivals to friends. They start like going for the same goal. This is like their transition to growing up kind of thing, you know. And they start liking, they have this bigger purpose now of not just like having a rivalry quinceanera or whatever, but they are now going, no, let's work together to get aunt and auntie and uncle together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they did not do that. They did not do that.
Yeah.
They made it.
Yeah.
They made it so that looked like the moms were the source of the rivalry.
That's what I was going to talk about. I thought that was very interesting that they did that.
But they never explained why the moms were fighting. Did I miss the backstory on why the moms had?
I was texting through it because I had checked out. I was over it. But from what I remember, Dolores said like something to the when Maria moved out the neighborhood, it was like she forgot about her or something like that, or like she didn't let her bid on the house, something to do with Maria moving out of her house, and that being it communicated to Dolores that, oh, you don't like me because you moved. Like it was something to that effect.
Oh yeah, it was like somebody else put a higher bid on the house or something.
Right.
And they sold it. And they and they accepted that higher bid or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just either way, that should not have stopped your kids, your best friends from, your kids who grew up as friends to being together. You know what I mean?
I do. And also they changed the Maria in the book is Sylvia, actually. Yeah. They did wait, her name was still Dolores, I think.
Yeah, her name was Dolores.
Her name was still Dolores, so that was good. But I wanted to see so many other characters. For them to do a movie like The Baker's Son, or what was another big one with a lot of characters, Wedding March 6, and for them to not like put in more characters to me in this movie that would have rounded out the story. Even like the reporter's name was different, and I felt like the reporter should have played a way more central part in the movie, because she was much more conniving than what the movie was letting on. And I feel like putting that in there would have made, because even again, I'm going off of just listening to Deck the Hallmark, I feel like it would have made more sense, the conflict that was between Tony and Sarah. There would have been more depth to the conflict had they had the reporter there being as conniving as she was in the book, because she was on some like
well, mind you, I do have to say I think that I am weary about blaming it all on the reporter, because she was getting, sympathy, or what is that called? Like she regretting it. It was more her editor who was pushing this
about halfway through though. She was an instigator. Like she instigated a lot of it.
Yeah,
she did.
And then she started going, "Oh crap! What the heck am I doing?" So then, like, she started to pull back, but her editor was like, "No, keep doing it, because we're getting like likes and hits on the website and everything else."
Right, which is what I would like. I would have loved to see that whole. Like, we only get either 2 or 3 scenes with the reporter. The first scene is, oh, this is going to be good. The second scene is, I'm sorry, I took you guys' words out of context. Like, what? Like, it was literally the biggest jump. And I felt like to even get like a few little newsroom scenes of her editor being like, oh, we could really play this up because he's this. Also, because I'm thinking about Tony being this like 1-star Michelin chef. Do we ever see him cooking outside of that scene with Sarah where he's like looking at her with all these googly eyes? Like, we don't see him cook a daggone thing.
Not one single thing.
I mean, you're this 1-star Michelin chef. I ain't seen you touch nothing.
Food.
Nothing. No food, not a glass, not a measuring cup, not a whisk. Nothing.
No.
I'm like, fam, I
don't mean to like, I do not mean to talk down Will Levy because he's a good actor probably. But I do have to say, I feel like Hallmark hired him for his looks more than like anything else. And
they knew exactly what they were doing.
They hired him for his looks and for his like fans. You get what I'm saying?
Sure. That's why the clip that I just put up on my Instagram was like, yeah, you can be handsome and everything, but I need you to bring it. Like, yeah. I felt like and he did some acting, like he did it. But I think because of the writing and the plot, it did him a disservice because he wasn't able to show, like, the character Tony wasn't given justice, I feel like. So even in the parts where he came off mad aggressive, but like, I want to make sure I word this right. The parts where he came off like, let me take you out. Let's go for a walk. Let me take you to breakfast. Let me take you to lunch. He does do that in the book, but it's spaced out more. Yeah. Like there's conversations and you find this inner turmoil of him even trying to work up the nerve to ask her. Like, yeah. I felt like instead of going like a 180 and him being like this kind of like, go to lunch with me, go out with me, go to breakfast, let's take a walk. I'm like, fam, you just got back after 15 or 10 years and you trying to be all up in my business? Like, calm down. Like, that's kind of what that rubbed me the wrong way. That really did rub me the wrong way.
Yeah. Anyway. And then of course there's some characters missing in the book. Yes. that were not in the movie. And that's where you were saying like it should have had the bigger cast. Now, mind you, do you think really that Jerry and Rick was integral, or you would have been fine with them not being in the movie?
I personally wanted to see what Rick and Jerry would have looked like in the movie. And I would have loved to see because I didn't see a relationship between Tony and Matt like they were trying to play it up to be. Yeah. And which they didn't in the book. Like he was closer because in the book, Sarah has 2 brothers. So it's not just Matt. The movie does get right that the niece that she's cooking for is Matt's daughter. Yeah. But she has another brother, an older brother. Is Rick the oldest one or is Matt?
I don't know.
I don't know. I know she's the youngest. Yeah. But there's an older brother, another brother, Rick, who is best friends with Tony, and they all grew up together, like you talked about, which is how they all know each other. And I would have loved like the B plot of their romance and seeing something with them. And I just thought even their decision to make Jerry into a black man named Kevin, I thought that was very interesting. Everything was just interesting.
I feel like Jerry was just, Kevin or whatever the guy's name is, he was not there. Like, I don't even remember him.
Like he could have not been in the movie and it would have been okay because his part didn't really play that much, didn't hold weight. No, it just didn't.
I don't even remember what he said or anything.
Boom. I mean, what more do you have to say?
Yeah. Okay, so now we've highlighted all the negatives and all the whatever. and all our rants, I do want to highlight a couple of positives that they did include in the movie.
Yes.
Now, one thing that they did include in the movie, even though it was very, very, very small, is Sarah debating if she as an Irish girl had a right to do these kind of Cuban dishes.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about it more in the book, but they had a really small scene about it, and I wish that they had delved in it too in the movie. It was like, what? Well, is she a right to, as a Irish girl, to cook Cuban dishes? And the Lord said it right too. She's like, you're learning it from me. You're learning it from a real Cuban person. You're doing it the right way. You're not like culturally appropriating it and calling it yours or whatever. That's the difference between cultural appropriating and cultural appreciation.
Yeah. And that was something else. I would have loved to see more of Sarah and Dolores's relationship too.
Yeah.
Because I felt like there was a deeper sister bond that was established in the book that didn't play out in the movie. But I liked, like you said, that she had that moment of like, oh, like what do you want with this Irish girl cooking for over 100 Cubans? Like, what in the world?
Yeah.
But yeah, literally ditto to everything you said regarding that. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Also, they did mention the discrepancy with female and male chefs, which was also part of the book, where she was like, I have a harder time finding, banks that would loan me money than a male chef, and this is why I need the magazine. Because like this would give me publicity, and it would probably open up more doors for me than you, because you already have the doors, and since you're a man and you're one Michelin star chef. But anyway,
I wish she would have said it like that though, Camille, because the way it was written was not like that, and it felt awkward. Like it felt like they just randomly wanted to insert a moment where she's campaigning for women chefs, which I understand. Like, yes, it's like that is important, and Cara does a very good job of it in the book. But I think it was just awkwardly placed in. Yeah, it was just awkwardly placed there. But I think how you said it was perfect.
Yeah. There's so many misses in this movie, y'all. Like so many.
And I did like that they tried to do, it was executed poorly, but they tried to include some dancing. They tried to include some salsa. Yeah. I liked that they had them talking, like, it was a little bit like they were going in and out of Spanish. And it was like they didn't explain what it was. They just like said it. I appreciated that. I was like, yes, speak your language. Like, I don't, if I need to know, I'll look it up. I loved it. Like, I appreciated them like dipping in and out of some Spanish phrases at times. I appreciated that.
I want some food though. Now I like watching shoot. I need some recipes for some ropa pie or whatever.
Speaking of recipes, in the back of the book, that's one thing that Hallmark Publishing is consistent with. They always put a recipe that's related to their the story. In the back of the book, you get a recipe for tres leches, a cake with banana and coconuts.
Yeah. They also Cara Dad said that on her website for the book, she also has some recipes on her.
Oh, that's awesome.
Too. So caridadpinero.com, I think. You can go look it up. She has some recipes on her website from the book as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, but no money in the world would make me eat foie gras hamburger. Did they have like a foie gras hamburger in there?
Just foie. I can't even say it. Foie gras in general is like, so.
For those who don't know, that's duck liver.
In layman's terms. And it's going to be a no for me, dog. I just can't do it.
But anyway, anything else you want to add?
I do want to say that there is a book to movie adaptation that I think did. So there is a book to movie adaptation where the movie is completely different than the book, but the movie by itself is so good that you don't even care that it's different from the book.
And what is that?
The Mistletoe Promise.
That
the movie is top tier shelf, grade A Christmas movie.
With Tyler Hynes and
Luke McFarlane. Tyler Hynes is the Mistletoe Secret.
Oh.
Which is a part of this Mistletoe series.
Luke McFarlane and Jamie King. Whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That movie was
ma'am.
So good.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that
it's so the Mistletoe Promise, the Mistletoe Inn with Alicia Witt, and the Mistletoe Secret, they're all a part of the Mistletoe series written by Richard Paul Evans.
Yep.
Now, if you watch the movies, you'll get your entire life. If you read the books, they are the most depressing piece of fiction you'll probably ever read. I'm like, for real. And like, there's these trigger warnings. There's suicide. There's divorce. There's cancer diagnoses. Like throughout the whole series, there's extreme loneliness and anxiety. Like there's domestic violence and domestic abuse. So like these books are incredibly dark, dim, and depressing. Well told though, but you would not have known. See, like that reaction right there. For those of you who are listening, her mouth is open. Like the movies are so dang light and cheerful and good that you would not have thought that the books were like that.
Like, how the heck did Hallmark turn suicide, depression, domestic violence into like these cutesy movies that we love?
And that's what I feel like. I'm like, that was an instance where it was done well. Yeah. Like, I wasn't mad that because I read the book after I saw the movie.
Yeah.
So I wasn't mad that I was surprised, but I wasn't mad. So I just wanted to put that out there. There is hope that book to movie adaptation movies are really good. So.
Oh my goodness. So, let me put it this way. I am now skeptical of reading books first before watching the Hallmark movie.
It messed me up. My head was hurting. I promise you. I literally, when you DM'd me, you said my thoughts as I was thinking it right then. Because I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Because I told myself when I do my review, it's going to be a strictly based on the movie. Yeah. And I'm watching the movie and I'm like, wait, that's not her name. That didn't happen. They're not there. What's happening? Like, I didn't know it was gonna be like
as that. I was live tweeting this, I kept going, that did not happen in the book. Where is this in this book? Why is this not happening? And it's so funny because Hallmark, one of the editors for Hallmark Publishing, was the one liking my tweets. Hallmark Channel was ignoring my tweets.
Oh my gosh. As an editor myself, I felt that. Like, I know I didn't do all this work for nothing. Woo! Man.
Oh my god. That is too funny. Yeah, she was one of the editors. I later found out that she worked on South Beach Love, the book, and she was the one liking my tweets, complaining about why it's missing all this stuff.
I know that's right. I know that's right. I know it's right. Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So anyway, but yes, everyone who did not like the movie, go read the book. The book is 100 times better. It's South Beach Love. You just missed the sale. It was on sale for 99 cents for a week. You just missed it because it ended on Sunday. But anyway, um, before we cut off, I let's just talk a little bit about the vows we keep, which was on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. I love you, Antonio. I love you.
Oh, you the homie. You are the homie. Know this. I'm looking like in the camera, like, know this. You are the homie.
We love you, Antonio. We do. And, we're grateful for you joining us on IG Live yesterday. We do. I love you very much. And I'll see you later this week or tomorrow. Anyway, but, okay, so here's the thing. This movie gave me Wedding March vibes. And I did not like Wedding March.
Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel. I was like, why does that, like, when he came onto the landing, I was like, why does that look familiar? I was getting deja vu feels, and I'm like, Wedding March 6.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like I liked Wedding March 4 and 5 because Tyler and Andrew and Cindy loved, but yeah, no. It didn't work in this movie.
I think both of these movies are one and done for me.
Absolutely. Is it wrong I deleted the recording right after? Like, I didn't even, because I make it a point to record every premiere just in case, like, if I'm late to it or whatever, so I can go back and watch. So I deleted the recording right after it. I was like, oh man, and the vows we keep isn't bad. It was just mad boring. Like, I just didn't care. I didn't care. And she, even when she was crying, I started laughing. I had to watch myself. Like, the part when she started crying when she was talking to her dad about, like, he was so nervous to speak at his daughter's wedding and she told him something and she started crying. I started laughing. I'm like, I should not be laughing at this part. But I'm like, what is it? I do
have to say, hold up. There are some good things. One, I like the wedding dress. After they fixed the frilly neckline.
Yeah.
After they took out the frilly neckline and took out some frills, I like the wedding dress and I like the high-low. Like the high-low hem of the dress.
Yes.
I like that. I think that's unique. That's different. I like the dress. And number two, I hated the boss. And that's exactly what they want you to do. I hated the boss. They literally made him the most misogynistic asshole in the movie. I wanted to literally cuss him out every single time he came on screen.
I will say that was my favorite scene because I felt it. Like, she acted her behind off in that scene where she actually got the gumption to tell him that she deserves a promotion. And he's like, sorry, but not sorry. You missed your window. You should have said it earlier because George is here now, blah, blah, blah. And
George couldn't even do the fucking job. So that's why you went and called her to help you do his job that you hired him to do.
That scene I felt that scene was well done. And she conveyed that conflicting of I still got a job, but I'm not where I want to be. This isn't it. Like, I felt that. I felt that tug to quit. Yep. And that was really good. Antonio's hair was sharp. Bro, his haircut was sharp. I really, for some reason, I felt like I've never seen that cut or that style of cut on him before. Yep. This looks new to me. And I liked it. I liked the fits they had him in, the colors that they had him in. Loved it.
Yeah. But that's about it.
Yeah. I liked that we saw a conflict with with elders. Yeah. Like, I feel like I feel weird calling them elders with older people. Although I felt like the conflict, I'm like, you just mad at her because like I still felt like them not talking for 15 years, it was something so petty.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme, I'm like, okay, so y'all just didn't talk for 15 years because why? I still don't remember why they stopped talking for 15 years, the sisters. But yeah, I'm ready for Christmas. I'm just ready.
We got 2 weeks. We have 2 more weeks to go.
We have Advice to Love By with Brooks Darnell and Aaron Westbrook.
Advice to Love By.
I'm actually looking forward to that.
Are you?
Because of the brown people. I'm completely honest. Like, I'm just like, yeah, Brooks. Yeah, Aaron, close us out.
They're cute.
They are too cute. They are adorable. They are really adorable. I feel like Brooks also is bringing a different look because I don't think he's brought facial hair to a role before. Like he's been clean shaven with a Winter Getaway with Nazneen, and then with A Christmas Miracle with Tamara Mowry Housley, he was clean faced. So to see him with facial hair, got the lineup going. I'm in it to win it. I'm ready. And Erin looks adorable. Yeah. Like with her long hair, bangs. Like she just looks adorable. I'm here for it.
I'm excited about that too. And did you see the ad for Taylor's Christmas movie?
I saw the band like at the bottom of the movie. Yeah. Do you know who her leading man is?
Carlo March. David from Chesapeake Shores. I was the one who kind of broke the news on Twitter. You remember that article that they quoted me on? That was me who telling them that it was Carlo that was her co-story.
I need something else to throw. What?
Yes.
And I'm saying this because I just finished season 2. I just watched episode 10. So I'm like fresh in the Chesapeake Shores Bay. I could smell the salt water. Oh, that's going to be.
I love Carlo.
Before. He is adorable.
I love Carlo. He is like the most awesomest dude. I can't. I feel like he's like the next Tyler Heights for Hallmark. I honestly feel like he has yet to do a role that is bad. He hasn't had a bad role yet.
I'm in it to win it.
He's done the one with Lacey Chabert, with Falling for Vermont or somebody.
That's in my queue to watch. I didn't know that was him. Yeah.
And then he did Christmas with the Darlings, and then now he's doing.
That was him?
Yes.
See, that's just the thing. I watch movies having no idea of who's he. Like, I just kind of watch him, and then I see him in something that I like, and then I'm like, what else is he in? And I'm like, he was in this?
I love him. I love Carlo. If you are listening, please come on my podcast because I am a huge fan. I love you. You do no wrong. You are handsome. I want to marry you. I want him to be my dream husband.
Okay. This is one Christmas proposal. That's the next Hallmark movie.
But anyway, yeah, he stars with Taylor Cole in Merry Christmas Spirits Bright or something like that.
Making Spirits Bright. I'm wondering, is it about wine? Honestly, that was my question.
I thought it was about ghosts. Shoot.
Oh. I'm like, oh, is this about like wine? Because of wine and spirits? I don't know. That's crazy.
Oh my God, you're too funny. Here I am thinking it was about a ghost.
Did you see the preview for Luke McFarlane's Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Ooh! First of all, they give him a black daughter, and I gotta watch myself. I gotta remember who I am in this moment. I'm excited for that movie.
I know. I still want Luke to play at least a gay guy. The poor guy has been playing straight men for Hallmark all this time. Like, dude, let him be gay.
Well, here's the thing. If he wants to, because it's like it's the roles that he auditions for and the roles that he either, because I feel like I don't know how if there's a hierarchy or how that looks, but I feel like he's entered a space where they can just call him up and be like, this is Luke, this is your movie. Like he doesn't have to audition. So I'm wondering
I know he has a Netflix movie where he plays a gay character or something.
Is it out already?
I don't know. But I know he's doing a Netflix one. And Peter Port did one for Paramount last year.
I get him and Brandon, the guy from 9 Lives of Christmas, I get them confused. I don't know why. The young versions of themselves look alike to me.
They do somewhat look alike. But yeah, I mean, and so I'm excited for Christmas. I'm excited for we're almost there and stuff. So anything else? Did you want to write about No Fall, or you're done with that?
I'm just like, put me on the first slate of Christmas at this point. I'm over
it. Right?
I'm over it.
Okay. Well, do you want to tell us about your podcast?
Sure. So as Camille mentioned earlier, my podcast is Dear Hallmark. And it started off as a YouTube channel where my YouTube channel reviews all of the new release Hallmark movies. My podcast reviews all of the backlist, kind of the Hallmark library, if you will. And on top of doing the, on top of doing the Hallmark library movies, I'm also reviewing the TV shows. And so I'm currently on Chesapeake Shores, about to wrap up season 2 because Christmas is going to take my entire life. So it's like, because of all the Christmas movies that are coming out, I'm going to stop. I'm going to kind of cut off the Chesapeake Shores reviews at season 2, which will be perfect because I would have finished it.
I mean, you do like season 2. I was thinking to myself, like, season 5 is almost over. So,
which will be great because maybe I'll be through the entire series if they're going to give Chesapeake Shores. I don't know if they're going to give Chesapeake Shores another season.
They better give Chesapeake Shores a season.
They have nothing else if they don't give Chesapeake Shores another season, because then all they're going to have is When Calls the Heart, and it's like that. I'm sorry, we're going to need something else because I don't watch When Calls the Heart.
I love.
But that's that's kind of my podcast. I just review Hallmark stuff. I love Hallmark. And
follow her on Instagram, Dear Hallmark. She's great.
Yes.
She's fun.
Yes.
Anyway, I'll see you guys next week where we talk about Advice to Love by starring Darren. Oh wait, what the hell did I say? Darnell Brooks and Aaron Westbrook. Thanks, you guys. Bye.